crafting resistance in my mind is giving shape to resistance, because the actual narratives of resistance are usually kind of official narratives. These are the ones that are probably the most important narratives, in the sense that the official narrative of what the resistance is or should be is what we as a community have to kind of adhere to. But as artists, our job is to give complexity to this idea of resistance, to reflect it in our own personal lives, to see how it actually impacts us as individuals.
For us as a creative artist, how do we creatively articulate this resistance so that we have stories? He who tells better story has better possibility of surviving and continue to survive in the future. And the fact that I as a writer tell my story has to do with this very thing, that how can we articulate our experiences as refugees in a way that reflects not only our realities, but also can inspire and continue to tell stories, not only for this generation, but future generations, so that know who we are. And he who tells a better story has a better history. And he who has a history has present and also the future. So this is how, at least how I look at creative writing and act of resistance as.
Every Tibetan writer, whoever is actively engaged in any form of art, or even just not art or writing, is engaged in some form of activism just because you're alive. And the writing is an incredible form of subverting the dominant narratives and challenging the hegemonic, ideas. So I think that's really important for us as Tibetans. Secondly, for the younger generation, we need to inspire them to write more stories, write more, make more films, engage in more artistic activities. I think that's really important, so that the Tibetan story continues to survive.
As a storyteller, as a filmmaker, or as a writer in general, I think I focus more on the return part. So how do we go back to homeland? So how do we Tibetans return to one's homeland when our homeland is under this brutal occupation? So at least for me, artistically, we can formulate this return in some ways. We can envision, and even if it's not the political return or actual return of people physically crossing over, going back to Himalaya, but I think artistically we can talk about this return in some ways.